Hi guys, what's up YouTube family? Ian and just checking back in. Hope you guys doing good. Hope you're blessed. Hope you're one step closer to your dreams and goals. Hope you're falling in love. Anyways guys, today's video is about Allah, the Islamic God. Basically guys, I'm tired of Muslims attacking Christians, especially us that were newly converts, that you are now worshiping a man as God, and they try to ridicule and disrespect Jesus and disrespect Christianity. So today we are going to show the Muslims that their God is a disfigured human, and that is who they worship. Let's check this video out really quickly guys.
We believe that both of the hands of Allah are what? Huh? Kilta yadayhi yameen. Both of them are right. How? I don't know. Don't try.
The Hadith says very clearly that both his hands are right.
Allah described in the Quran that he has a face. Allah described in the Quran that he has two hands when he addressed Iblis, Satan. And he told him, what prevented you from prostrating to what I have created with my two hands? So this is what Allah described himself. Allah says in Surah Al-Qalam that on the day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal would uplift and show his leg.
Read Surah Qalam, Surah number 68, ayat number 42. The shin of Allah is mentioned. If you read Surah Rahman, Surah number 55, ayat number 27, and Surah Lail, Surah number 92, ayat number 17, 18, 19, and 20, the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned. If you read Sahih al-Bukhari, the fingers of Allah are mentioned. So all this are a direct indication that Allah has got a shape.
The saq here refers to Allah's shin. So he has a leg.
The Quran says that Allah has one eye, and another ayah says he has multiple eyes.
Whatever Allah says, whatever the Prophet ﷺ says, we believe in it and we affirm it without thinking too deeply about this, about the actuality of.
I couldn't stop laughing the first time I heard this. Allah, that's two right hands, a leg, eyes, and a face. Oh God, guys. Oh, excuse my laugh. Oh, how ridiculous is the Islamic Allah? I couldn't stop laughing. Day and night when I read this, I put it on replay. How stupid. Let's get into it. As you can see from that video guys, the Muslim sheikhs and imams have affirmed the fact that Allah has hands, a leg, eyes, and a face. Now the defense by Muslims is that we cannot compare these attributes to humans, as it is considered shirk and would humiliate Allah. They say that according to chapter 42 verse 11 that Allah can't be compared to anything in this world. Some will say that this is metaphorical to signify Allah's power, but guys, this is only in some cases that the Arabic translations to English does substitute the word for power. However, when the word isn't substituted for power, it turns out that Allah actually has hands, a leg, eyes, a face, and ears. So now we can understand Allah has a body that consists of parts. If we analyze this logically, it makes no sense that Allah isn't related to humans or a human-like being, because these attributes embody a vast majority of life on earth. Do we say that the moon have legs, arms, eyes, and a face? Do we say the moon walks in space? Do we say that the sun have legs, arms, eyes, a face, and walks around in space? Can we say that the sun grabs the heat from itself and blows it into the earth, and that is how we feel heat or its rays? Can we say that the sun feeds the plants by using its fingers to shove its ray down the mouth of plants? If we say an angel have wings, isn't it because the attribute is for the purpose of flying, to descend and ascend, like how a bird uses its wings to fly? So how can someone say Allah has human attributes and he's not comparable to humans? These are anthropomorphic traits that are designated to Allah. The point of a leg is to move from point A to B. The point of hands is to use it as a tool to grab things. The point of eyes is to observe things. The point of a face is to hold the eyes so one can see, to hold the nose so one can smell, to hold the mouth so one can consume, and to hold the ears so one can hear. Aristotle would agree with me 100% and would argue that Allah is a being that is closely associated with humans. So how can we sit here and believe that Allah having human attributes isn't equivocal to human beings? If someone attempts to refute this, they need to explain why these attributes are given to Allah and how does it benefit Allah or doesn't benefit Allah. Let's look at some Quranic verses. Chapter 39 verse 67. It says that Allah will roll the heavens with his right hands on the day of resurrection. One tafsir says his right hands, the other one says his two right hands. So Allah has two right hands, and even in this hadith it says that Allah has two right hands. So when the Jews accused Allah of having his hands tied up, it doesn't matter because he has two right hands. So when Allah said he is going to fold the heavens with his hands, it's the same as someone folding blankets. This is a bit off topic, but I wanted to point out in the following verse, chapter 39 verse 68. That Allah says he will kill everyone in heaven and the earth when the trumpet is blown, besides the Huris, aka the pure women in heaven, Jibreel and some other angels, and then resurrect everyone when the trumpet is blown a second time. How come Muhammad and Allah are retarded together? Because what is the purpose of this? Does this make any sense? So all the Muslims in Islamic paradise will be killed and then brought back to life for no reason? So stupid, guys. Anyways, back to the topic. So guys, in chapter 38 verse 75, it says here that Allah is asking Satan why he doesn't bow down to Adam, which he created with his hands. So again, Allah is affirming that he used his hands to create Adam. Now this is comparable to a human being doing pottery and creating a clay pot by using his hands. This again is a direct relationship between Allah and human attributes. If Allah created Adam with his hands, he would have to create him with the motion and angles of a human hand containing fingers to massage and sculpt Adam. Chapter 68 verse 42, it says Allah's shin will be revealed on the day of resurrection. So here, guys, the Quran tells us that Allah has a leg, and it's most likely a right leg. We aren't really sure if he has just one leg, but let's assume he has two legs. Just, just to make him look a little pretty for a second. Anyways, Allah has a right leg, and he will reveal it, and people are going to have to bow down to his right leg. So Muslims must bow down and kiss Allah's right leg on the day of resurrection. Allah is very disrespectful that he will show his leg to the devout Muslims and force them to bow down to his toes. So far the Quran has confirmed Allah has two right hands and a right leg. According to chapter 2 verse 115, Allah says whenever you pray, if you don't know the direction, it's okay, because the east and west belongs to Allah, so wherever you turn, it's Allah's face. So now the Quran has confirmed Allah has a face. Chapter 6 verse 32 again says that Allah has a face. that Allah has a face. Chapter 92 verse 20 says Allah has a word, Arabic word here, wajhun, means face. So when you're praying or getting ready to pray, you cannot spit in front of you because you will spit in Allah's face. According to Muslims, and this hadith says you can't spit on the right because an angel is there. Only spit on the left. So guys, in chapter 42 verse 11, Allah confirms He has eyes and ears because He is all hearing and all seeing. So far, the Quran has now told us that Allah has two right hands, a right leg, a face, eyes, and ears. So Allah so far consists of matter, has a body, and consists of parts. Can you all start to formulate and imagine what this creature Allah would look like? I have some twisted, demented type of image coming up. I don't know about you guys. Just because a verse in the Quran says that Allah is not comparable to anything in this world doesn't mean that's true. As we already established, Allah cannot claim to follow the acts of humans and consist of parts that have a purpose equivocal to human actions. Then say He is beyond human understanding. This is foolish and nonsense Muhammad made up. Why would Muhammad give his God body parts and human faculties if his God wasn't a person or a person-like figure? Is Muhammad telling us Allah is Himself, or Allah is Satan, or is Allah a disfigured creature somewhere out there in the cosmos? Some fool told me, how can this be Satan if the Quran says verses to keep away Satan? Allah said He is the best of the deceivers. So of course you would think this silly verse keeps the devil away. How does that verse keep Satan away when everything in the Quran is satanic? Let's stray away from the topic for a second. Muhammad can marry a 6-year-old baby girl and consummate her at 9. But when Abu Bakr and Umar asked to marry his daughter, she was too young. So he married her to Ali according to this hadith because their age was so close. Do you see the contradictions and double standard, guys? Muhammad, this is more evidence that Muhammad was a pedophile rapist. One minute he can do what he wants, but other people he becomes this virtuous moral character. What a bastard, shameful scumbag. Thank God he's dead. I'm always reading Islamic websites to see how they do acrobatics with the Quranic verses and hadiths to dilute the truth. The irony is that they can interpret Allah's word and make it fit their own agenda. But how can you change and stretch the words of Allah, of your God? If your God is so incompetent that He cannot send a detailed, structured message, whose fault is it? Is it ours or His? Human intervention into the Quranic verses showcases that Allah is half retarded, not fully retarded like Muhammad. This is why they created tafsirs, because the book is so stupid people ask too many questions because they don't know what Allah is saying. This is why Muslims need to go to an Islamic scholar, read tafsirs, read hadiths, and paint the whole picture, because this book is so stupid, disorganized, and vague. The Bible is clear as day. I don't need to go to a church and ask the pastor if he can explain things to me, or go on a Christian website and ask for help. Obviously, the high-level interpretation of wisdom requires a student of literature to explain the allegorical aspect, so on and so forth. But it's nowhere near the same with the Quran, the book of Muhammad. Never tried to argue with a Muslim and they ask you sources, and did you read this, and did you read that, and did you read this, and did you go back and forth and check it? Like, holy cow, guys. Like, oh my God, guys. Like, can you believe, like, the run around they make you do a marathon to try to confirm and figure out what you're saying is true or not, because the book is so stupid and confusing. Now, guys, back to the topic. So Allah, according to this hadith, has a left hand. I'm not sure if the Quran says he has a left hand, but as far as we know, he has two right hands. Now, this is interesting, guys, because you'll notice something unique about this. Notice how Allah is always referring to his right hands and right leg. In these Quranic verses, you see that Allah separates the bad on the left and the good on the right. So anything that is on the right is always good. That's why Allah's best attributes is his two right hands and right leg. Allah even says that he will chop Muhammad's right hand off. With this understanding, Allah's left side of his body, the one left hand, and left leg, left ears, left eyes. Not sure how many eyes he has, but he's saying that it's all impure and evil according to his standards. That's why the Quran doesn't mention his left side, but always his right side. So Allah is disgusted with the left side of his body, and his other half is impure and evil. Lastly, Allah has a throne, guys. And what is the purpose of a throne? Is it not to sit? So Allah can sit down, guys. And if he can sit down, this act alone, typical to something of this world like us humans, you're telling me Allah can stand, sit, has two hands, two right hands, correct, a right leg, eyes, ears, and a face, but he isn't a person? Anyways, today, guys, we have established that Allah is a creature, a form of matter, a disfigured person. He's closer to a man than anything. And that the Muslims' God, the Islamic God, has a body with parts. The next time Muslims yell, "You worship a man as a God," and they try to ridicule the Almighty Jesus Christ, just remember to tell them, at least Jesus had a pure, structured body, and not two right hands with a discombobulated body. Muslims are worshipping a demonic being that is closely related to humans, but they don't know it, or they choose to ignore it. We will end this, guys, with chapter 69, verses 44 to 46. As Muhammad's death verifies he lied according to the Quran. We know that Muhammad died slowly by poison, and in this hadith it says that he feels his aorta is being cut from poison. So Allah delivered his divine punishment. He said that if Muhammad lied, he would cut it, right? And why is Allah telling people if Muhammad lied, he would kill him, even after Allah is comforting Muhammad with exclusive sex rights, marrying his adopted son's wife, sharing war booty, marrying a kid, killing Jews and stealing their women, etc.? It doesn't make any sense, does it, guys? Now I was on this Islamic website where they tried to defend this by saying the word choice indicated that Allah would have done it immediately, and how Muhammad's death later down the line has no relation to what was being said. Obviously, this is a lie. Now, this fool skipped over a key word, which is why Muslims cherry pick and lie to save themselves from shame. Why didn't he ask himself, who is us, in verse 44, 45, and 46? Who's us and we? You can see the different Arabic translations here, that the word still is us and we. So is Allah more than one person? Why does Allah say if Muhammad lied, in our name we will kill him? Who's our? Who's us? Who's we? Is this someone else who was writing the Quran, inserting these verses saying if Muhammad lied, we will kill him? Remember, the Quran says that it abrogated verses and replaced it with new ones. So Allah is incapable of providing a pure message without error. Like the one time Allah forgot disabled people exist, so he created a new verse to not punish the disabled for not being jihadists. Furthermore, why is Allah abrogating verses and replacing them with better ones if the Quran, according to Muslims, is eternal and the original copy exists in the Islamic heaven? So how come if the pure ultimate book that is unchanged in heaven is now being altered because Allah forgets things? All of this, guys, point to the evidence the Quran is filled with more holes and contradictions and lies. And the author is Muhammad. So guys, as we discussed today, me and Jess spoke about this many times before, that in Islam, every part of you on the right side is the holy part. And we all see today why, right? Because Allah's left part is filthy. Just like how they tell us the left side is filthy. And the people on the left are going to hell. And the people on the right are going to paradise. It's always this specific notion of the right. And at the end of the day, guys, we've just discovered that Allah is a disfigured man, creature, devil, Satan looking like monster. That we probably could draw him if we follow the image. But it's very hard, right? It's very vague. But at the end of the day, people might find this blasphemous to their own religion, but at the end of the day, it's very easy for them to come and attack Jesus and disrespect Christianity and try to insult Jesus and try to insult Christianity. But at the end of the day, they're the ones who don't even know what their God is, what it consists of, or what Muhammad is even saying. But nonetheless, guys, hope all of you have a blessed day.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Stay tuned for the next video.